Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show on this 1st of November, 2021. Thank you for tuning in. Glad to have you guys here. Now, here's what I want to talk about, something of massive importance. You remember, well, Captain Kirk, on the Enterprise, his starship and everything. You watched the old episodes, original Star Trek episodes. There's this one episode, where he went to this world or something, and they had this document, and they were reading it. They couldn't understand the meaning of it because they were messing up the words. The words became so that the words had no meaning in this document. So, and they held it as a like the holy words or whatever. I'm going to put a link in the description to a clip from this original episode of Star Trek, and what the document really was, it started with "We the People." It was the Constitution of the United States. And when Kirk read it, he knew what it was, so he was able to figure out what the words meant and the importance of those words, "We the People." Now, let me explain a little bit. We got something going on right now that's causing a massive division in the United States of America. And to really understand this division a little bit better, let's open up the charts. Okay, let's get the charts here. Give me a second, guys. Let's open up the charts right here and take a look. We're going to take a look at this article right here. And it shows this division in the United States of America. And this article is: almost 1 out of 3 Republicans say violence might be necessary to save the United States. And this is very important because they did polls, and they found that 39% believe violence may be required. Now you got to understand, that's a lot of people. But that's amongst Republicans. They did the poll again here. If we look down, and let me see if I can find it. I believe it was 29% overall had this viewpoint. Okay, I'm trying to find it. Now that's among all of the people in the United States. They did the poll. 29% believe this, that it might be necessary to uphold the American patriot view in order to it says right here, may have to resort to violence in order to save our country among American patriots. So what we're seeing is a division amongst political lines. Now if we go back to the election, we see that it was around 50-50, very close to 50-50. It might have been 51% on one side, 49% on the other side, 48%. But it was very, very close to 50-50 during the election. Now, one of the things I want to point out here, if we take a look at the charts, and this is the popularity of Joe Biden. It says, how unpopular is Joe Biden? Now, we see if we go back here to the election time, his popularity was higher. But what we see here is a descending popularity from like 54-55% if we move forward in time toward now, and then it goes down to 53%, 52%, and 51%. And let me get the month here. Around September, it was 45%, and now it's descending and descending. Now it's 44 and 43. And right now it stands at 43.2, almost 42% approval rating. And we take a look at the chart on how many people believe that the country's in such a mess that we're on the edge of a civil war. This amount of people is getting almost up to the amount of approval rating for the president. So we got to take this into consideration, how this is going to move forward in time. So, what's going to happen when hyperinflation starts to really hit home? Well, savers out there, they have over $20 trillion being held in the banking system of the United States. Now, this is money that's just kind of sitting on the sidelines. And that money can actually, when people see their savings not doing the job that it's supposed to do, and that's one of the big jobs of money, is to be a store of value, people start to catch on real quick. And so what happens is they start to move their money out of savings, and they start to buy things like maybe gold and silver, maybe cryptocurrency. This is what we've seen, these massive moves up in price in cryptocurrency. The fact of the matter is they start to actually move out of the dollar. So what happens with those dollars? Those dollars start to chase goods and services. So goods and services start to go up higher in price. At the same time, the value and purchasing power of the dollar starts to go down, and we see all these massive amounts of money starting to move into the system, and the velocity of money actually starts to go up for the first time in a long time. See, one of the things that sent the velocity of money down, quantitative easing, is one of the big factors that sent the velocity of money downwards, into a downward spiral, because that money moves mostly within the financial system. The higher end of the financial system does not make its way into the general economy. And because that money is being produced and it's just sitting within the banking system, that means a lot of money is not moving, and that causes the velocity of money to go down. But we can get a sudden spike in the velocity of money. And this can add fuel again to the inflationary problems. So what happens when people out there, they start to get to a point where their amount of money they're getting from their job, or possibly money that they're getting from the government, possibly Social Security, people on fixed incomes and things like that, when they get to a point where they're having trouble making the start of the month meet the end of the month, in other words, their money is all gone before the month is over, and then they have to make hard decisions like, am I going to feed my children this month, or am I going to pay my apartment rent or whatever, or am I going to pay my phone bill? People start to get very upset, and this can actually send this approval rating of the president downwards, possibly into the 30s even, and it can actually send this other number I was talking about earlier, where people believe that that civil unrest is a way to restore what they had, what they once had when the purchasing power of their dollar was higher and better. A consensus starts to occur, and this can lead to very quickly to social unrest. Now, we're not there yet, guys. We're not there yet, but see, I'm looking a few months into the future, maybe 4 months, 5 months, 10 months out, maybe a year out into the future, where this conditions are right. All of a sudden you can see this civil unrest spring from nowhere, seemingly from nowhere. But if you know what to look for, and that's what I'm pointing out in this show, then you can see it coming in advance. And so that's where I think we're actually headed, toward possibly massive civil unrest. And we still have this division between this two-party system where there's no bipartisan support for anything within the government. Yes, they've pushed the debt ceiling off for a little while, but it's going to come around again, guys. And there's still no bipartisan support for that. That alone could bring the financial system down if they can't come to any sort of agreement. So we're living in very dangerous times in this respect, and you guys have all seen this building for a while now, and I see it potentially getting worse as we move into 2022. That's basically in a nutshell what I wanted to say in this show. And Halloween's over. I hope you guys had a great Halloween. I had a good Halloween, and now it's Monday. It's time to get back to business, and hope you guys are all having a nice afternoon, and we'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.